Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Welcome to this broadcast of the SGLive tournament. We are in the bracket stages, round of 16. We got a great matchup for you tonight between DuskPlume and GanonsGoneWild. I'm Cheesenator. I'm joined here in the booth by Hate13 on comms tonight. Hate, how you doing?
I am doing pretty well tonight. Freshly woken up from a nap, just so I could make sure I was nice and perky for the stream. And I see this glorious party that Danny rolled.
Yeah, so the party today, we have class blessings and curses on these flags, and the classes have actually been blessed pretty remarkably. The black belt has extra HP and hit percentage, while the white mage has extra luck and black mage spells. So it's not as bad as it looks. We've got all colors of magic, and we've got a win condition. By the way, we've got tracking tonight is Sunflash in the background, so everyone thank the tracker. Do you have any more thoughts before these runners get going, Hate?
I'm looking forward to see how this race goes. These both are pretty accomplished racers and have done pretty well to make it as far as they have into the brackets. This has been a competitive set to get into.
And these are fast flags, which is why this tournament is a best-of-3 format. This is race one out of a potential 3-set match, and we've got so much going on in these flags. Lots of class buffs kind of under the hood. We've got short Topher, a very kind of crazy linear but kind of wonky early game that you might not be used to if you've seen, say, spring tournaments in the past. We'll get into all that as the runners start kind of hitting some of those key items and goals in the early game.
Yeah, and I just want to call attention to how awesome DuskPlume's headset is. Oh,
yes,
and
it is beautiful.
It looks like we are off.
Cool. Ganon's barreling into the armor shop. However, not much armor can be equipped by those two classes. We've got Lit 3 Fast. That's already great magic. As well, Cure 4 and Walls. So distribute those as you wish among your white mages.
Yeah, this is a little spoiled for choice at level 1.
Wow, and Ice 3. Yeah. How do you do this? You've got 5 really good spells. I could see maybe sacrificing the wall.
One of the white mages gets wall, both of them get Cure 4, one of them gets Ice 3, both of them get Lit 3. Or, not Lit 3, but both get fast.
Yeah, see, that's... I think you prioritize AoEs, you take 1 fast, 1 wall, and then, I don't know, 1 Cure 4 or something like that. Anyways, DuskPlume has already made it to Garland, not bothering with any of the treasure chests, just going straight in with Ice 3, and first cast, only 83, not high enough to kill Garland, who's going to be between 50 and 200 HP, but there we go, second cast is good enough.
Yeah, and unfortunately it looks like DuskPlume wasn't able to get through with both of the white mages up and standing, but oh my... As I forgot what I was going to talk about, because I saw Ganon open up a chest with 28k in it.
Yeah, money can be hard to come by, especially to fund all the magic buying that you need to do in the early game on these flags, or if there's like an early vendor item, for example. So that 23k is going to go a long way for Ganon's, really make the early game more flexible.
Yeah, as I have... come to notice myself in these. Mages run on money. They don't run on spell charges or hit points. No, they run on your money. So having that money in the early game, real bonus.
Oh, expensive houses today too. Woof. But yeah, you can see the difference here in the shopping. DuskPlume just kind of scraping together a couple of cabins, while Ganon's going to be able to really load up on all the essentials from the shops here.
Yeah. Hopefully Ganon buys a couple of softs, because softs never leave Corneria without them.
DuskPlume also opting to pass on potentially going to Matoya, where you might have picked up, say, some extra cash before going to Provoca. Both runners are going to have to walk to Provoca because the ship was not offered by the King and Sarah.
Yeah, it looks like the king had a little bit of absinthe, i.e. the fairy in the bottle, and the princess went, here, have a crowbar. It's really old. Hopefully it's not rusty.
But it's remarkably useful in these flags, because not only will it let you get all the way through Earth Cave and defeat Lich, but there's an incentive in the bottom of Earth behind it, and Lich is locking these sages today, so Rod is really a double, like a 2-for-1 key item.
Yeah, the rod is one of the items that I love to find early game in these flag sets, almost as much as the ruby. which is odd because most of the time the ruby is just about a throwaway. But with this, there's an incentive item in the ruby or in the Titan's Trove, and it'll let you access Harda early.
I think this key item layout, barring a vendor item in Elfland, is going to be Canal or Canoe in Marsh Cave, because we just got a ship from Bicky, and we can't do anything else with the rest of our items yet because we can't break out of the Inner Sea.
Yeah, unless it leads into a horrible fetch quest chain. So we could end up seeing like herb or crystal, which could then lead into some other horrible stuff. I kind of hope we don't see that, just because I wouldn't wish that on our runners tonight.
Yep, though it's not too bad if you want to just kind of whip around the Inner Sea on our boat, because if you notice as they're... Well, actually, you wouldn't have noticed yet. They haven't started sailing, but you will notice that we've got a new flag on called Speedboat, which I think just doubles the rate at which the regular boat moves. It's kind of blistering and a little disorienting when you first see it.
Speedboat, best boat. And yeah, the speedboat moves at the same pace as the airship, but there's a lot of people who have perceived it as moving faster than the airship. But
I definitely perceive it as moving faster. It must be playing tricks on me.
Yeah, exactly. It's the visual difference between having a floating ship and the, well, direct ship.
Both runners getting caught by this fight on the sea here, but this is not actually a bad experience in the early game. You'll absolutely take a red sahag and a shark.
Yeah, at this point, everything is still made of little bits of candy, at least.
So today for encounters, our encounters are going to occur 4 times every 256 steps that the runners take on overworld land and in dungeons, and 2 out of every 256 steps on the ocean, like we've just seen these 2 here. So it's a pretty low encounter rate. It's about half of kind of the old traditional. And then the encounters also have the unrunnable formations mixed into the pool.
Ooh, Temper and Quadex at level 3. That's a pretty decent find right there. Wonder how bad White's going to conflict with it.
Yeah, I got to be so mindful of what's available. But I mean, Fog 2, which is viable and castable in these flags, depending on what you're going to be doing with those charges. Not bad, but rounds out the level pretty nicely. 3 spells.
Yeah, could be better, could be worse. It's not too shabby.
I think low-level temper is just super important, especially with that black belt. So the black belt has plus 20% hit percent today, which means it's going to get to 32 hits. Or sorry, not 32 hits. 8 hits, which is normally at 32, at about level 26. So if you can get a 26 black belt with low-level temper charges and those white mages, you could, strengthen it up, and it'll be like 1 or 2 shotting fiends pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially with the low-level fast. I mean, that punch cannon's going to come online quick, and it's going to do some damage.
And as you can see, the runners have been funneled into Marsh Cave. Marsh Cave pretty safe on these flags. There's another thing we've done a little differently than usual, which is no script shuffle. Normally, any enemy in the game can roll a script that includes spells or skills that would then further be randomized, but then on this flag set, if they had a script in vanilla, they have a script in this one, and vice versa. And nothing in Marsh Cave, at least off the tiles, has a script. They could run into something on the shuffled A formation here that will be guarding the incentive chest.
Oh, and both runners stopping in and grabbing that green chest in 2-1 and finding a ruse stick, but GanonsGoneWild finding out that gargoyles have stone touch.
Yeah, so that's the one way Marsh Cave can go wrong, is enemies still can roll bad touches. If you remember vanilla, there were a lot of stun touches and poison touches down here. Blue Dragon graciously only opens up with a slow there, but Blue Dragon definitely could have led with a pretty bad script as well. But we get our canal, and we'll break out of the Inner Sea shortly here.
And if you listen close, you can actually hear DuskPlume going, nope, 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 as they were running from the Blue Dragon there. Which I cannot blame them for.
So, Blue Dragon's weak to fire, not to lightning. A little bit maybe thematically off, I'm not sure, but yeah, you definitely don't have the offense to take these things on with what you started the seed with.
Yeah, if you ain't got Fade or Nuke, I ain't gonna deal with those.
Yep. So both runners are now making their way out of the dungeon, and pretty much in lockstep. So They're still remarkably close again, other than that gold lead that Ganon's opened up with.
Yeah, this is disturbingly synchronized so far.
Yep. They're just on different encounter tables, so we'll see varying fights as they reach the conclusion of the dungeon.
Yeah, and as pointed out by Sunflash, despite the fact that Ganon's took the wipe, it made up a good amount of time, and they're only just a little bit behind DuskPlume right now.
Yep. With the super low encounter rate, wiping a couple floors in Marsh is not as devastating as it might otherwise be.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for that pack of werewolves jumping them, they might actually have maintained that lead. But the werewolf's going to jump up and go, no, you don't get a run right now.
Yep, so we pretty much just have one option from here, which is to break out of the Inner Sea, take some of that magic that we've got, which is good enough, and go ahead and try and make through Earth Cave and fight Lich, which the same thing will apply. Earth Cave is not going to have any scripts other than the tiles and the bosses, so assuming nothing terrible rolls in, which is a big assumption sometimes, Earth Cave is going to be fairly straightforward as well. But it does have gargoyles. It has gargoyles.
And I don't know if you noticed, but GanonsGoneWild also picked up a Confused Staff in Topher, or in Toph, and then sold it for another 12k, which nuke at level 4.
Yeah, and these white mages, so they're like super red mages right now, because they're getting all of the things that a black mage or a white mage would get, but they're getting their fast charge growth that white mages, of course, excel at over red mages, so they're actually going to have quite a number of charges of those nukes.
Yeah, they're red mages, but better, because they don't have nearly as many spell restrictions.
Yep, you'll only start seeing spell restrictions at 5, 6, and 7, but the first 4 they get everything of both sides.
And GanonsGoneWild just entirely skipping Melman, like, yeah, I don't care about this place. I got a Lich to go kill.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything yet. Even if you can buy the spells, you can't cast them, and you're not really looking for anything in the shops. Ganon's though gonna opt maybe for a potential grind here if the tiles are any good, and this mage tile is fantastic. I don't know if he's got any houses in the inventory, but if you can get like 3-4 levels on this and then go outside and house, you could grab some nuke charges and be sitting much more safer, he said, much more safely when you're in those fights against Lich and the Vampire with their scripts.
Words are hard, I can understand that. I think Ganon's has a couple of houses. Yeah, it looks like quite literally 2, it looks like. So, you can get some stuff. Ugh, that's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, this is a decent formation for experience, but getting jumped by 9 enemies is never fun.
Yeah, I mean, at least the enemies are just hitting. They're not doing like, oh, look, we're all going to cast Invis too. I hate my life.
DuskPlume making the identical play. Going to check out these mages here.
Yeah, whereas Ganon says, got away from that first pack and was like, you know what, mages look better. And DuskPlume's like, okay, I've got mages. I'm gonna go save. And yeah.
So this is interesting. DuskPlume, if they just kind of commit to a grind here, they do have some limited resources, right? You need to save enough to kill Lich, unless you're planning to walk all the way back to Melmond and heal before going down. But ideally you want to kind of get the show on the road, get down to the bottom of Earth, get moving, and get your 2 key items out of Earth.
This, on the other hand, this is a good tile to see as well, if they can take him out. This is what looks to be the quote-unquote normal spike tile on the rest of the Earth floor, or Earth 1 through 3 at least.
Yep. A white mage dropped there. Do we have life yet?
Life 2 was at level 2.
Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, though, you might even want to start going with 2 characters. The white mage has a really high chance to run thanks to that luck bonus. Never mind, okay. Too early for that. I was just going to say it could be a good idea to start juicing up the levels on the black belt, but with the white mages being as strong as they are and it being this early, no reason to leave it dead yet.
Yeah, and those nuke charges are going to be indispensable until the punch cannon comes online.
DuskPlume spending a lot of time in fights that don't have that many mages in them, but is still getting decent levels for their troubles. Like, I would probably just be running from single mages and trying to roll 3 or 4 here.
Given that DuskPlume has, I think, 1 cabin and no heal pots, I don't hate the play of taking out the singletons. It's a way to get something without having your party get torn apart and having to run back there.
Alright, meanwhile, Ganons is down to the 3rd floor, looking pretty okay. Okay, we've got a... Yeah, we're gonna have to nuke out or lightning out these wizards. They do resist ice, and they hit pretty hard too. The one thing that this party lacks compared to a lot of the other parties you can roll in Final Fantasy Randomizer is defense. The black belt is getting absorbed per level, which it's up to 12 absorb, but the white mages have, if they've got anything, it's like a copper bracelet, right?
Yeah, those white mages, as far as I can remember, I haven't seen Ganon pick up any armor for him, so the white mages are running around, en natural.
Also, something special about the incentive here today. So, for dungeons that have sort of a midway point key item in them, or key item lock in them, this flag set moves the potential spots for the incentive item to appear behind those locks. So it's been moved behind, from this chest here, it's been moved behind the rod lock in Earth, behind the key lock in Sea, which is just one chest, and behind the cube lock in Sky.
Yeah, which makes diving Sky in this real pain in the butt if it's a required item. So you got a lot of chests to check.
Mm-hmm. So here they're gonna pilfer through Lich's armory, and then if it's not in these 5 chests, they will look in Lich's bedroom, which is the 3 down on the bottom left of the floor.
And that is a shame to find absolutely nothing of value in there except for some pocket change. Those angry wizards that punch like a truck full of smaller trucks, but also are made of toilet paper, it seems.
Yep. DuskPlume, ready to get going now in the Earth Cave, has come back fully healed and was, got a good amount of cash out of that first mage dive, had 8k or something like that on their way back. So DuskPlume will be able to catch up on sort of some of the missed items like heal potions, pure potions, save items, so forth, as well as buy their remaining spells after Earth Cave.
Yeah, that's unfortunately going to have to wait until they get back into the Inner Sea or, to the southern end of Elfland, because, well, Melmond is still wrecked in these flags.
One thing I will say is that I'm maybe a little worried for DuskPlume from a, HP perspective, because say you run into unrunnable wizards, if you don't kill them fast enough, your characters get knocked down, they don't have much absorb, and you've got no heal potions in between fights. It could end up being a little bit short on healing resources. Yeah,
especially if they're using the level 1 spells offensively, because yes, there is Cure 4 at level 1, but, that's also Lit 3 and Ice 3.
Mm-hmm. Ganon's picked up the canoe out of the last 3 chests on B4, so that will open up right now just Ice Cave and a potential vendor item at Crescent.
Yeah, Ice Cave, Waterfall.
No, not Waterfall yet.
Oh yeah, I know. I forgot. No early docks. Force of habit.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm so used to the convenience flags.
Yep. So GanonsGoneWild has defeated Lich. That's the first orb lit at around the 17-minute mark. Pretty common for these flags, given the early placements of Rod and/or Ruby and some of these other things that put runners on this continent.
And especially with the early nuke too. An early nuke is that's always a sight to see, and it's just a breath of relief.
Mm-hmm.
And level 5 magic, well, at least there's heal 3.
Yeah, that's not bad. Honestly, the heal magic has been buffed, especially the cure spells, I think. Maybe not so much the heal spells, so that they do more. They're not quite so useless, say, in Temple of Fiends Revisited. And it's always nice to have heal 3 to kind of counteract things like Nuclear, Inferno, Blaze, whatever, that can just like chip away at your party even through ribbons.
Yeah, it's something that you can at least pop out of combat to heal en masse. You don't have to shotgun as many heal bots. And we see Crescent Lake, and item shop says loot.
Okay, so Ice Cave is going to have something that eventually leads to the floater if it's not directly a floater.
Yeah, we could see the crown, crystal herb.
Yeah, adamant, TNT. There's actually a ton of things. It could still be a long fetch chain and potentially a required Temple of Ordeals, but in the meantime, we just know for sure that we've got to go ice.
Yeah,
These
gotta go
copper
ice.
Floors, those are pretty good.
Yeah, especially since the silver bracelets rolled -2.
By the way, for those unfamiliar, one of the common ways that Final Fantasy Randomizer mods the game is by blessing and cursing weapons and armor, and they adjust a variety of the stats like the absorb and evade and crit rate and yada yada. Those copper bracelet +4s go from 4 base and vanilla to 4 times 3 additional, so they go to 4 times 2 additional, so they go to 12 total absorb.
Yeah, and with additional negatives, well, the armors also get a little bit heavier, so you lose the evasiveness that can come from them, or the evasiveness increases, or decreases.
Yep. DuskPlume is taking on Lich now. Going to go for punches from the black belt, which actually one of them hit a crit. They both hit crits, so that's pretty respectable. Nuke comes out for 262. Another nuke comes out for a cool 200, and that's Lich down. Yeah, those black belts are already critting a lot because guess what? The black belt crit rate is not halved. It is the vanilla crit rate on this flag set. So black belts, they're not played very much unless they have to be, but when they are, they're going to be strong.
Yeah, these black belts have extra sharp fists tonight. Alright, and we see Ganons hitting the Ice Cave and making that first run and running into an unrunnable encounter of cockatrices and mummies. Blech. Oh, and DuskPlume playing us the Poison Song.
Which, of course, does not play on the ocean, but there's still the poison. I think, does it still happen? I don't actually remember if poison still ticks when you're on the ocean.
I do not believe that it does. As long as you're not walking, you ain't hurting.
So Ganon's here is in Ice Cave. Ice Cave has a mix of quote-unquote safe enemies or non-script in vanilla and very potentially unsafe ones. Sorcerers, mages, frost wolves, frost dragons, and I'm not coming up with
Frost
anything
giants.
else. Do frost giants have anything?
A lot of hit points, and they can hit hard.
No, sorry, I just meant like
Yeah,
scripts and spells.
Yeah, my brain kind of shut off there for a moment. I can't even remember which other ones could have script spells.
Paralisks, I think, can appear on like the first floor. Anyways, but yeah, we should be okie dokie. I think this party feels strong to me, unless it runs into the stone touch gargoyles. Run away!
Run, nuke! Yeah, it's man. There's the stone. All right, there's the nuke. At least. And poor Quad W just is either dead or turned to stone a whole lot in these. All right, and kind Frosty Spike Tile, that's not too shabby.
That's kind of French vanilla. Normally it would appear just to the left of this area of the floor.
Yeah, that is one of the really good things about the Ice Cave is there are a plethora of spike tiles to oh boy.
Oh, this is a bad one to get ambushed by. But there's only one lobster on the screen. Only one lobster. That might mean that he gets out alive.
Yeah, and, well, throwing microwaves at the problem might also help it.
Come on, turn order. Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Right, nice.
And we have microwaved seafood. Ooh, them snakes.
Those are big snakes.
Yeah, okay, another microwave.
This is amazing. Wait, oh no, one of them didn't die! That's fine. I think we're gonna be fine.
Good. Alright, yeah, well, this tile is, no es bueno.
But you've got a level 14 and a level 15 white mage now, so,
Alright, well, that tile, we survived! Let's never touch it again.
Yeah, and I think Ganons is realizing his the precariousness of this dive potentially, and not going to challenge the other thing to the left, the other spike tile to the left there.
And we see the replacement for the Bane Sword is an Ice 3 sword. That is not a bad caster item.
Oh yeah, that's actually an Ice 3 sword. It's sometimes you see those and it's a bit confusing. You think that it's an Ice sword plus 3. So another flag we've got on that we've just been introduced to, chat, is the shuffled. What would you call it? Item magic, shuffled item magic, and not just shuffled, but actually randomized. So all the things like Zeus Gauntlet and Bane Sword and Heal Staff from Vanilla have been given new, different spells. They could actually roll their Vanilla spells, but they do not often do that.
All right, and we've got the herb, so that means it is fetch quest time.
Yep. This is, by the way, they have no exit or warp, so they got to do the full double loop to get out of ice. So Ganon's just hoping that there's no spooky encounters here in the last few steps.
Please let me out, please let me out, please let me out, please let me out. Oh god!
These wizards are runnable. The formation in Earth Cave was not.
Luckily for them.
So Ganon's will be going back by canoe and maybe by boat. I'm not sure what kind of route he'll choose to take to get back to Elfland Castle and see how deep this fetch quest goes.
I think it's probably going to be pick up the boat and swing back through to the south dock at Elfland. That
sounds pretty good. DuskPlume opting to not fight the Frost Dragons or indeed to go to any of the other tiles. Nope. Okay, DuskPlume's going here. There are 4 chests in this room in addition to the tile, so it's kind of a dense place to go if you just want to do one tile check on this floor. And unfortunately, it's just zombies.
Yeah, well, and there was a big pile of cash in one of those, which will be helpful for DuskPlume. And the chests were, other than that, 20k or so, were kind of a bust.
Yeah, that Ice 3 sword really helps the seed, because now you can maybe even go down to just the black belt and 1 white mage and start progressing as either player, because you've got 2 AoE casters and you've got running.
Oh, and it looks like DuskPlume finally discovered that those gargoyles have stone touch, and I looked away and did not see what the elf gave.
It's the floater, so Ganon does not have to do much more. Going to be in the air shortly, be able to turn in that bottle that we got so early in the seed, as well as check Sarda, and also do Waterfall. We can't yet do Ordeals because still no crown.
Yeah, if the runners were to go to Ordeals right now, they'd run up to the chair and go bonk. 25-55, GanonsGoneWild in the air.
Yep, it's a great place to be. This flag set kind of mediates the sort of potential floater gap. You will not often see runners be further than, say, 5 to 10 minutes apart in getting into the air.
Yeah, if even that much. It's generally the floater, if it comes really early, which it most of the time does, it's pretty much along a linear path.
We picked up TNT from Sarda, so that's a pretty convenient fetch quest. Ganon's is very close by the dwarf cave, and we'll head right in.
And with getting the explosives from the old man in a cave, GanonsGoneWild is probably now on some kind of watch list.
DuskPlume making good use of that Ice 3 sword, taking out a bunch of cockatrices here, and chip damaging some of these mummies, which resist ice.
Alright, Narek going, hey, you brought my explosives! Here's an old rock with some stuff carved in it. I don't know what it means.
Yep. Slab, thankfully, getting it at this spot is like about as convenient as it can be, because you get to run right in here, talk to Dr. Un, and then take both that and the bottle over to the northeast corner of the map and turn them in together.
Yeah, it's a very convenient time to actually be able to turn in the bottle and the slab. You hate finding the slab from the ferry. That's just a pain.
Oh yeah. DuskPlume is in the river system now, heading to Volcano, making the neighborhood play. This can be something you save until later in the seed, given that there's nothing locked in here and Kerry does not assist you with any other progression. But if you bet that you might not see the floater for a little while and want to just, again, make that neighborhood play, it's not bad. There's also the armory, which you can go into to stock up, and it looks like DuskPlume is going to check for some gear and maybe for some grind tiles.
Yeah, and I don't hate the play of going into the armory. I mean, it's not exactly the most efficient use of time, but you can at least check a couple of spike tiles right here and, hopefully find a ribbon or something useful.
Meanwhile, Ganons wants to get this black belt online ASAP and has gone to the safest possible tile, though isn't actually spending much time on it. I wonder if he's reconsidering.
Maybe heading down to one of the ones on the south that you can trigger without having to step on an unsafe tile. Ooh, and
idea.
DuskPlume found an ugly encounter there in the Phantom.
That's right. The A-side tile shuffle includes the Phantom, which is a mini-boss in Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah, put in by the developers of the game as one last for you, because it's a horrible enemy to fight, and it gives you garbage for XP and gold.
Oh yeah. So Ganons has decided against that grind for whatever reason. Maybe it was too slow, given their HP, or maybe he just wants to get some more key items in his pockets. Key items give an extra, I want to say 5% experience per in these flags.
Yeah, 5 per with these flags. It's not a huge amount, but still, it all adds up in the end.
Yeah, the experience, for how fast these flags are and how low the encounter rate is, the experience is kind of low. So you'll see towards the end of the seed, a lot of runners go into Topher at like 18, 19, 20, 21, as opposed to sort of mid-20s, as is more standard.
Yeah, it's very rare to actually see somebody take a black belt and then get them to higher than 32, because these these flags are designed to be really fast, designed to be kind of popcorn. Like, you just bring it up, you chomp it on it, and it's gone super quick. So GanonsGoneWild finding a random sandwich, at least. That's kind of a good thing to find just out and about.
Yeah, I haven't actually been following the encounter table, so I don't know if there's something early that he could grind on the overworld. The gold bracelets are very expensive. Doesn't look like he's going to be getting any of those right now.
Max price gold bracelets? No, thank you. They will deal with the copper bracelets that they've got for now.
DuskPlume about to pull Kerry. This should be relatively straightforward when you've got 2 nuke casters, but they're all very low and haven't been healed. Help.
Oh, that's a problem.
I'm worried. Okay, Fire 2 is bad. That's bad news.
Oh.
This is just going to be a straight time loss, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, you can see DuskPlume in his in the camera just going, I made a mistake and forgot to heal.
Yep. It's a super doable fight. Like, if you don't get hit by that Fire 2 right away, it's very, like, with 2 nukes, you're going to be able to chomp through most of Kerry 2's vanilla HP, and of course Kerry can roll down. Decides to double down, and instead of leaving the area, is going to hopefully get through Kerry on this next attempt, while Ganons continues the fetching of items, heading up to, it looks like, Waterfall.
Yeah, well, given that Smithy McBeardsmith there took that adamant and crafted a scuba suit for Ganons, I don't hate him for going to OnRack, especially since they've got the key, so they can actually pull the item out of Sea Shrine.
And this is a nice play. If Sea Shrine has the chime, then GanonsGoneWild will be in go mode and just needs to sort of grind for levels to finish. And you can potentially ignore a tail, a Masamune, and a ribbon, which are the remaining available incentives from elsewhere.
Yeah, well, the remaining terminal incentives, at least, because there's still that ribbon and that crown. So yeah, if this isn't the chime, you're kind of gonna be in a little bit of trouble.
I mean, I don't mean trouble per se. Like, I think most runners will do either this first or Waterfall first. So if one of those two has the chime, that's kind of the standard route. Ruby, this will lead to an incentive in the Titan's Trove. That's the flag we've got on today.
Yeah, one of the rare times the Titan actually has to be given the food to get an item. Most of the time, we can still give the Titan his food to, let us buy, but the Titan's Trove generally is not a very popular place for incentives.
Back-to-back Fire 2s at the beginning of Kerry's script. That's pretty worrying. We're on our last nuke here. We were able to get out Now this is our 4th total nuke, and the black belt is just contributing. Ooh, stun touch on 7 hits from Kerry. This Quad X has to come through. Will it land?
Kerry bring her, but Quad X pulling it off.
Okay, so DuskPlume saves the day, and all relevant characters are alive. The orb is lit, so that is DuskPlume lighting the Fire Orb at the 33-minute mark.
Alright, and GanonsGoneWild is charging their way down through Sea Shrine already.
Yeah, he'll probably get some of these checks that are very in route, like the 2 treasures in here, and maybe 1 to 3 of them in Sharknado. You don't want to go too far out of your way for anything when you've got a black belt, but a ribbon would be nice for your casters, especially if the ribbon doesn't fall into your lap through turning in fetch quests.
And DuskPlume went to go grab their boat, and then realized, I am parked on the other side of Crescent Lake. Crap. I hate when I forget where I parked.
But shouldn't be an issue. DuskPlume will be in the air in the next minute or so.
Yeah, just gonna have to brave that river system one final time, which, I mean, it didn't seem to be too horrible this time, thankfully.
Ganon's getting through one of the only sort of spell unsafe fights in the Sea Shrine. Sea Shrine's actually quite tame in these flags, unless like lobsters roll a lot of hits and crit rate and a bad touch or something. But generally, because nothing in here has a script except for the Big Eye.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. Honestly, the thing that I've run into the most, which is the most annoying in the Sea Shrine, is these snakes. They are generally a lot thicker than I would hope for them to be. Yep.
Snakes can be as high as, like, I think 400 some odd HP. It's not great, but they're worth decent experience, so Ganons gets a bit of a reward for his troubles.
Yeah, I just don't like it when my noodles are that tough. Ooh, unrunnable lobsters. That's not a fun thing to see.
Yep, but those level 1 spells, like, those are super good. Lit 3 against water-based enemies that have the weakness can roll up to 360 damage, so it's pretty potent in this dungeon.
Yeah, especially since it seems like those lobsters rolled a little bit on the light side, given that 119 killed one.
So what's the plan here? Do we have a ruse thing? We do. We have okay, so one of the things that's a caveat of the item magic randomization in these flags is that there will always be a ruse item to replace the defense from vanilla. So we're going with melee strats here, nuke, temper, and ruse, and hopefully the black belt doesn't get punched out. Okay, gonna need a few more of those ruses because Kraken is punching hard.
And tossing out a wall on BBBBB because, well, better safe than sorry. Oh boy.
Okay, but max evade here. Kraken looks to be just punching, so this is just going to be just some slapping back and forth here with one person hitting and the other person not.
Yeah, Ganon's got lucky here that this Kraken is not too absorbent or evasive.
Yeah, that was a 3 and 256 crit through max evade there to hit the black belt, but again, those are rare events, and Ganon's lights his second orb at 36 minutes.
Yeah, and DuskPlume has gone and picked up that TNT from Sarda and is going to be a little bit disappointed. But DuskPlume showing that they're a bit of a villain and leaving the Grey Dwarf to suffer in its one-word, state of pain.
DuskPlume will be getting the explosive news soon. I mean, TNT is pretty good at digging up old rocks, so...
True fact. And looks like Ganons is heading on up to see what the robots got hiding for him in the cave.
Yep, because Ganons did not find Go Mode and doesn't want to leave this continent yet just to go check what the ruby is. He's going to go to the waterfall. Now, we don't have warp or exit unless there was a late exit picked up that the white mages have leveled into. So this will be an in and back sort of slower waterfall dive. But if it's like tail, you can just hot reset that because you're never going to use it with these characters.
Yeah, in this instance, like on this specific flag, promotion is a trap and a lie.
Alright, so DuskPlume off to do the assorted northeastern fetch quests. Ganons is getting assaulted by a bunch of restless undead things. They look quite grumpy.
Why are we awake? It's like me in the mornings. Or me anytime before noon, honestly.
Our friends are back! The Stun Touch Gargoyles. They're gonna not be too successful if they try and Stone Touch the Black Belt here, who's got a decent amount of MDef, but the White Mages would be still pretty vulnerable.
Alright, Crown out of the robot. That means Ordeals and Astos are both in play now. Hey, Vorpal +4, that'll sell pretty nicely, because no one's swinging that.
Yeah, sometimes you get a blessing. Ooh, that's nice, that gold +2 bracelet. Sometimes you'll get a blessing that puts, say, Vorpal or Xcal or some of these other high-tier swords onto... Oof, are we gonna get away from this? Okay, cool. I just was holding my breath and my thoughts, didn't want to curse anything. Ganons gets away from the Stun Touch. But yeah, we didn't get any blessings today that put, say, the Vorpal as an equipable sword on our characters.
Yeah, it's, I would say it's a bit of a shame, but, well, punch cannon.
Yep, I think from the time the seed was loaded and the players looked at the blessings and curses on the characters, it was pretty obvious what the win condition was.
Yeah. Punch things hard enough, make them fall over, and the nuke is just an extra, extra assistant to that.
Yep. Yeah, with only 2 nuke casters, I don't think you can charge into Topher and just say nuke alone will be your savior. You are going to need a few levels, but again, we've got a 6-level discount on the Black Belt hitting that big threshold.
Yeah, I mean, normally I prefer not to leave my Black Belts alone until they have turned 21, just because they seem to be a little bit vulnerable before that point. At this point, I think these ones would probably be fine to be left alone at, like, 17. Alright, and the Titan was holding on to a pretty hairpiece and keeping that in its closet.
DuskPlume opting for the Waterfall first route.
Yeah, probably just hoping to, find something useful. Which, I mean, honestly, we know it turns into something useful, but I doubt it's going to be what DuskPlume was hoping to find.
Yep. So besides the the progression lead Ganons has, there's also a notable level lead. DuskPlume was just cresting 13-14 on their characters as that last fight finished up. Alright, and with that chime off of Astos, thanks to the crown that DuskPlume just picked up in Waterfall, Ganons had before, GanonsGoneWild hit go mode around 41 minutes.
Yep, just gotta go punch itself, Merilith in the name of Kerry, and hunt down a Dragon Queen. Well, and then make their way through their chosen fork of Topher.
Mm-hmm. So there is another route potentially to victory that doesn't involve Ganon stopping to grind on anything, which would be looking for the Maza, which is the strongest weapon in the game and is a guaranteed incentive that you can find in these flags in a narrow set of locations. If you pick it up, the Black Belt could wield it, or a White Mage could wield it, and I've seen a couple of White Mages win against Chaos with that, and be the only character left alive in these flags. So it remains to be determined how Ganons will want to finish out the seed as he runs through the Fiends here post-go mode. DuskPlume about to dive the Sea Shrine, has no need to stop at, well, the shops, I was going to say, but we'll take an in-trip real quick. Staying at the premium resort here. This is just a 5-star hotel we've got in Onrak. Really great place to stay. We had summer vacation there 2 years ago.
Yeah, Onrak, it's a beautiful location. It's just so out of the way. Like, really, no one likes going there unless they're going for the I've forgotten the word. Ambiance?
Yeah, there we go. Ganon's cleaned up Kerry, no problems. So that's a 3 orb count now at 43 minutes. Heading off to Sky here. We'll see. I would suspect he'll clear anywhere between 0 and 4 chests. I'm going to assume that it's just going to be the greed ones. I don't think Ganon's is going to dig out the Maza or the Ribbon. I think this is probably a go and grind seed, though if that was the case, I would have maybe preferred to grind and then go in the other order.
Yeah, though Ganon's has actually pulled that Ribbon out of the Titan's Trove, and but yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing them open up really anything except for maybe those 4 greed chests on Sky 3.
Yeah. The tail is still unaccounted for too, right? So you could dig out Sky and then find a tail and be like, oh, Maz's and Ordeals, everything is awful. So it's a pretty bad bet, I agree.
Or even worse, you could find the crystal.
Yeah, and then you just don't even know.
Yeah, it's opening chests at this point is nothing but a trap.
Mm-hmm. These are some real bad men, but Ganon's thankfully is not going to have to deal with them.
Angry Batman, and Ganon's just peacing out. No, bye!
Yep. Speaking of piecing out, DuskPlume does not feel confident yet to take on Kraken, and I totally get it. That is not a super safe fight for the levels DuskPlume currently has. Is going to instead go do the various turn-ins that the Crown has unlocked for them.
Yeah, I cannot blame him on that one either. And it looks like Ganon's didn't even open up those greed chests, is just zooming on by. Are we going to see a robot chicken?
We are, and we ambushed it, so why the hell not, right?
Oh yeah, oh boy. Wow,
that was a huge nuke roll. What? It has no HP! That's nuts!
Holy crap! That was like less than 500 hit points!
I wish, okay, spoilers for earlier, but I lost a race earlier where Warmech came out and baned my party. I wish that I had one that was quite so free. Anyways.
Ooh, and DuskPlume finding an Agamatile in Astos' closet. That's not too shabby.
That's a great place to stop and grind. I would honestly, like, at this point, I think DuskPlume, with the carry wipe and so forth, might feel behind, and I think you kind of want to try and commit to something like that now. Say, like, maybe Temple of Fiends Revisited is really bad, Ganon's might opt to skip the grind and put himself in a position to wipe a few times, lose that clock advantage, so I think DuskPlume's out here to catch up is bad Topher, and I've got the higher level black belt. So that looks to be the case. The white mages are getting unequipped and moved to the front.
You, go up there and die, so I can feed all this lovely XP to my black belt. And it looks like the Agama is actually obliging. That is a rare sight to see, I've noticed.
So I think what Ganon's is doing here is probably an informational dive, because he hasn't stopped for any kind of a grind yet. This party can win under some circumstances. I don't think you're the favorite with 2 nuke casters, a nun, and a black belt that hasn't leveled up. It really depends a lot on like how bad the Fiends are left and right side, and as well Chaos's HP.
Oh my, okay, so that Lich had less than 380 hit points. It went down to a Lightning 2 and a punch, or a Lightning 3 and 161 punch. Now this Kraken 2, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, going for... So, I mean, obviously the ruse is great, though I think the black belt can still get one-shot here, even through a ruse. Lit 2 is about the most gracious thing you can see to open a round, besides, like, ink from Kraken, so that's nice. Goes with Temper. Crack comes out. Everyone survives.
Oh my, 6 hits, 219. It's a hit. More Tempers.
Okay, this Kraken is definitely killable here. I think we've actually gotten into a pretty stable spot, unless we see a nuke from the Kraken like this round. Or nuclear, and everyone survives! Holy see, Caster Blessing! I didn't do anything.
You did summon the nuclear, but they survived, so I don't think it counts. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, I mean, this is a winnable dive now. What do you have to do here? You have a ribbon. I think you put it on your... you have wall? I don't know. think that this has decent odds to close it out. With a ribbon and a gold +2 bracelet and a Ro16, your black belt probably doesn't die.
Yeah, I don't know. I am being a bit more of a conservative player sometimes. I would have gone with the ribbon on one of the casters still, and then just wall to keep the black belt up. But that does leave danger to first turn kills, but it doesn't matter anywho.
Okay, Chaos hits hard, but I mean, that's what Ruse is for. If you can get a couple tempers out, like, this is super duper doable.
Yeah, got the fast, and that's the, second temper out. Or, no, first temper, because round and one was fast and wall.
Yeah, we also need to see if Chaos is evasive. Okay, not at all evasive. That's 12 hits. No pro ring, even, so unfortunately, quad access, but there you go!
Oh my goodness. So that Chaos hit kind of hard, but was more of a glass cannon, it seems. So get your GGs out in chat for GanonsGoneWild.
Yeah, GG. Great time. Anytime you sub 50 on these flags, you're running hot. With a party like this especially, that's a pretty good time in general, right? Like, we did get handed a black belt and 2 white mages.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw this, when I saw the party from the seed, I was like, oh, Danny rolled this a wonderful seed, and then I saw the blessings, was like, oh, no, Danny rolled the wonderful seed for the runners. Aww. But that was an impressive run there. That was stupid quick. 35 chests. I'm speechless at that. Because I have a really bad loot goblin.
Yeah, we're going to try and get Ganons in here for an interview. Just need to check in some things on the back end here. 1 second. And we are joined in the booth by tonight's winner, GanonsGoneWild. GG, how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's always nice to win, but I was pretty nervous during the race. I don't know, just these races are always very high pressure, so.
But... Yeah, absolutely. Getting out of that, some of those situations you were in this seed, like by the skin of your teeth, we saw multiple times where like Stone Touch almost took you out, or Temple of Fiends Revisited, of course, you're going in there with 4 characters and trying to get past a Kraken, and it all kind of worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost 100% sure I was going to wipe to the like lobster seafood party pack and ice, but I was like, maybe if I get turn order. But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of close calls in this one, but yeah, I don't know. So the thing, like, I think it's like hard to figure out how to play this one, because if you like, a lot of people want to do a big grind on the black belt, but like that just takes a lot of time. And on these flags, Topher's such a dice roll that like you can get through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you did was absolutely the correct call. Informational dive, see if nuke and a little bit of offensive buffs is enough to get there. You had a Ro16, you had temper, like there's so many things you already have in your pocket that can win the game on their own. So it was just a really good call on your part.
Yeah. The sad thing was I think you had plus 20% whatever it's called, hit rate on the black belt. So I think I only needed 1 more level at the end of the game. I think I was level 24 after Kraken to get the other hits.
Oh yeah, that's right. I thought you were further away, but then I forgot you got the freest Warmac of all time.
Yeah, that was like a joke. I'm like, okay, if you just want to give me another 2 levels here, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that Warmac came up and I was like, alright, robot chicken, and holy crap, it's already gone.
Yeah. If I didn't get the ambush or the first strike, I don't know if I would have bothered with it, but thankfully got the first strike.
So we've got DuskPlume taking on Kraken 1 with a black belt that's doing 12 hits and is doing 0 hits because it's now dead.
Oh, man.
And yeah, that was just 3 rounds, 3 characters down, unfortunately. I'm not sure if DuskPlume picked up the Ro16. Do you remember where that was, Ganons?
It was in Marsh in like one of the chests on the last floor.
Oh yeah, and they definitely did that too. I remember them going to the left to get it.
Yeah,
is it still in their inventory?
It was in March 2-1. I believe DuskPlume does have it, but Kraken 1 decided to say, hey, I'm going to play the role of Kraken 2 and just body y'all.
Yeah, I think one thing you can do here, so DuskPlume took the 4th body, whereas you took the Nun Ganons, and one small advantage of having that 4th is that in this case, for example, you could unstone it and hope that it takes the first punch from the Kraken and gives everyone else sort of that cascading extra round of actions to get through the fight. I think DuskPlume, if they run it back, can get through on the next try if they unstone the top black belt.
Yeah, gotta use the ablative meat shield strategy.
Yeah, I was debating actually just doing 2-man party because then I'm confident I would get 8 hits with just doing like a walking grind, but it's pretty risky. So
yeah, when one of your 2 isn't a fighter or like a red mage or something that can get sort of some stock absorbed from the early game, it's really hard to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the gold bracelets were 65k.
Yeah, that was pretty rude.
Yeah, I mean, they rolled up, but I don't think they rolled up enough to be worth, 65535.
Mm-hmm. And then is your your game 2 of the match tomorrow night?
It's gonna be Sunday. I don't think we've had it come up with a time yet, but yeah.
Cool.
It's gonna be sometime Sunday.
Yep. As a reminder to those in chat, this whole bracket is best of 3 matches. Of course, you have to schedule 2, and then pending a 3rd, you might need to squeeze in 1 extra. SGLive is going to be running on a pretty tight schedule, so there's going to be lots of FFR action over the next few days. Definitely stay tuned to all the SpeedGaming channels to make sure you don't miss a run.
Yeah, and there are going to be so many races that not all of them are going to be rebroadcast. So if you actually want to watch them, come on into our Discord and put yourself into the spectator role, and you'll get pinged for each one of those races.
Mm-hmm. All right, try number 2 here on Kraken 1. We're healing up with heal 3. Good idea. Are we going to unstone? We are shifting around, but we are not unstoning. So we still have basically 3 actions from the Kraken to try and survive. We are switching to Ruse strats here. I like this. Fast comes out, Temper comes out. We need Ruse before Punch. Ruse goes out. Okay, that's survivable. You've got Cure 4.
Punch, but lived. Good. Let's see how we go from here. All right, we got the Cure 4, we've got Temper, we got another Ruse, and...
Boo earns. That's super bad.
Yeah.
I think the only way... maybe if you don't unstone a character, the only way to really avoid that is to put the white mages up in the top 2 slots, and put the stone character down bottom. But yeah, this is looking like another wipe.
Oh, especially with a low roll on that nuke. Ugh.
With that, DuskPlume has forfeited the race. We'll see if they want to join us for an interview or not.
Yeah, I cannot blame DuskPlume for forfeiting on that one. You've seen your the dot done from your opponent, and Kraken has done horribly rude things to you. Yeah, no, I understand that and open
out. We asked a little bit earlier, did not get an affirmative yet. So we'll hang on for just a second here to see if Dusk would like to come into the interview booth and give some of our thoughts, or give us some of their thoughts. In the meantime, make sure to follow the runners today, GanonsGoneWild and DuskPlume, who put on this great show for you. Make sure to join the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord. Those links will be provided by Hate in chat. All right, and we've got. I can see them in Discord. We've got our second interviewee coming in here momentarily. And welcome to the booth, DuskPlume. GG, sorry about kind of a tough run there.
I hate Kraken.
Who doesn't?
Understandable after that, Kraken. That was a not a pleasant one.
You know, I should have bought some softs at some point. I don't really even recall where they were, and I didn't find any in any treasure chests. So
Oh, that's what it was. All right.
yeah, I just didn't have any.
Ah.
That just felt like a series of poor decisions and underwhelming results, and I don't know. I'm amazed at Ganon getting done sub 50 with that. So GG to you. That was amazing.
Thanks, GG, dude. Yeah, I mean, you clearly got the worst end of the RNG here with that Kraken fight, so.
That happens. I used up all of my RNG luck getting in here.
But you bracketed, so I mean, congrats either way, right? You're among the cream of the crop of the Final Fantasy randomizer runners in a very high stakes tournament.
Yeah, the cream of the crop and me. But no, seriously, congrats on even making it in this far. And, you know, this is only match 1. You've got match 2 and possibly match 3 still.
I do. I have about 36 to 48 hours to figure out black belts because they never work out for me.
To be fair, they rarely work in these flags anywho.
And in this one, Ganon's just pretended that the black belt was a fighter and then finished with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I have to imagine because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how if I got better decision, better RNG, how I would have finished sub 50 here, and I don't know. I'm not seeing it, so that's just great.
It's a combination of the really strong magic, right? Fast, temper, nuke were all available, as well as a ruse stick, and like you can put those on any classes. It doesn't matter which classes, and they can theoretically win the game. Of course, classes with more HP are going to be more resistant to some of the things that Temple of Fiends can dole out.
Yeah, I think honestly one of the biggest decision points that pushed it to GanonsGoneWild was Ganon's went and turned in the herb and got the floater before going to Volcano, whereas you opted to go to Volcano, and Kerry did rude things to you the first time.
Yeah, and that was a mistake on my part. I didn't heal up before Kerry. I was going to. I had that planned out, and then I said, "Hey, Kerry," and yeah, double fire too. No good.
Yeah, the second time around though was really clutch because like you got down to the last nuke charge, used it. Kerry still wasn't dead. Kerry comes back with Dark on the turn that you're casting Quad X, and it was just a really smooth kill with only one character alive.
Yeah, I'm always going to pick up Quad X if I can. Always, always, always. Great for situations like that.
Quad X for the win.
All right, it's been great talking with y'all. We are here towards the end of our broadcast, so why don't we start getting some final thoughts. We'll start with our winner tonight, GanonsGoneWild. Any last words on the seed, words to your opponent, or about your upcoming match on Sunday?
GG. Hope you have some better luck on Sunday. The seed was actually pretty fun. It's interesting with the black belt and the white mages with like the god roll. So, yeah, it's a fun seed. Fun, but having fun in the tournament so far. Thanks for doing comms. And yeah, GG.
Fantastic. And DuskPlume, same questions to you?
Just gonna have to put on my gi and my headband and have a training montage for the next day and a half and get myself ready for Sunday. GG again to Ganon. Thanks to you all for being here for the race, for commentating, for the race crew, and everybody that watched. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Yes, I believe in the power of the montage. I think you can do it.
I appreciate it.
I would sing the montage song, but no one wants me to sing.
All right. Well, hey, it's been great gabbing with you here. I hope everyone who tuned in tonight had a good time watching. Reminder to follow all the SpeedGaming channels, follow the commentators, maybe us too, the trackers and maybe the commentators too. Thanks to SpeedGaming for letting us have this on. Thanks for Danny, who's been helping behind the scenes, coordinate races, and to all the SpeedGaming staff. I hope they have a wonderful SGLive tournament overall. Thanks again to our tracker tonight, who was Sunflash, and we will be seeing you all soon, very soon. Stay tuned all weekend for more more speedruns and especially more FFR.
Yep, we got a whole lot more coming up for you, and with that, we will bid you adieu.